This is a week in my life as a performer in Sydney. I started rehearsals for my dream show this week. I was also still performing in Hansel and Gretel at Sydney Opera House, so Sydney Opera House debut, but I also had 2 auditions as well over this week. So I was learning material backstage and on the fly between rehearsals. I was also trying to take as best care of my voice as I still was a little bit ill and trying to come back from a bit of vocal fatigue. So come join me for this mad week in my life. So I think I realized pretty quickly on the Monday that this was going to definitely be a more voiceover sort of vlog style week. I woke up and my voice was feeling so rough. I had a gig a week ago. It was a really hardcore gig in Oxford Street, which was much more pub, piano style, Elton John style, compared to what I'm singing today, which is Phantom of the Opera. So I'm just hydrating as much as possible because first days in musicals are usually meet and greet and then everybody sit around the piano. So I am reaching for my steamer this morning, and I'll link my vocal health routine when I post it. But vocal health is extremely important for us singers. So I'm starting the day with a steam before taking the train to Homebush, because that is where they rehearse the Handa Opera on Sydney Harbour. Because the stage is so big, we need like an Olympic training space to be able to rehearse our show. I actually did this production last year, Guys and Dolls, and was covering Sarah Brown, but this time's a little different because I'm an offstage swing. So I'm trying to get to grips with what that really means. So learning different vocal lines, getting the lyrics down, because Masquerade has so many different lyrics. But yeah, I will keep you updated on what the role of swing means and my experience of it. Again, starting the day off strong with a steam and a bit of a nebulize before I head in for rehearsals. And today, Kevin, my friend who's the AMD on this, was brewing coffee down the front. So my swing desk is right next to the music team. So this works great for me. And this is our friends Coffee 211 Coffee. So shout out to them. Fantastic coffee brewery for us, like a slow pour over. Wednesday morning, my nebulizer arrived just in time for my auditions. That's great. I had some saline solution all ready to go, so I was trying it out and it worked so beautifully. And then I was off to my audition and physio. 7:27, running for the first bus of the day, physio, and then audition at 9:45, and then a vocal call at 10, which I forgot I had, but I got my tea, I got my new nebulizer. Vocal function feels semi-okay for 7:30 in the morning, so I'm hoping the physio can work out some kinks. And look at beautiful Oxford Street this morning. They're planning, they're prepping for Mardi Gras on Saturday, so it's a big week for all, Now that I'm ever so slightly early for my physio, I can talk about it. A lot of people are really hesitant to get vocal physio. Like I was talking to somebody at rehearsals yesterday and they were like, I've never had it. And I think it's just somebody else touching here. We think it's like a really delicate place. And I get that, but I've experienced a lot of MTD across my training and in my career, and it's really, really helped. And I think I'll link the video where I talk about the show I got a lot of attention on, was Heather's, and I'm singing a song from Heather's, and you can see how much these muscles are working. And if we think about dancers and athletes, how much their muscles work every day and how much they go to the physio, and I think it's just our muscles are smaller. So I'm a big fan of it, and I'll see if it helps, because I'm definitely feeling a little under. So work their magic. Look at the Australian sun, it's so beautiful. And this is me getting ready in the public bathroom after my physio. So just a bit of basic makeup. I'm sort of wearing something that nods towards the character that I am auditioning for anyway. So just some quick makeup and sort of arrange my hair before heading off to my audition, which is at 10. I'm actually going in, they're doing recalls today, but because I've been in rehearsals, they're letting me just come in to do my initial audition before they start the recalls. So that's really, really lovely. And I'm just, trying to stay calm and remember it's just fun. A lot of auditions that I had at the end of last year, I did not treat as fun and found them quite stressful. So I'm really trying to treat auditions as just a fun thing moving forward this year with the industry. So last little checks and just staying nice and hydrated in the bathroom and feeling quite awkward when people are walking past. Alright, on the walk to audition. Really getting warm. Literally bubbling with my straw here. I feel really weird about this audition because I have done prep work quite a lot for it, but it's been very undervoiced and internal practice rather than like full out singing, so it's a muscle memory thing, and just hoping like notes that I know I can belt but haven't yet with this song come out in the room. Also hoping for a cheeky operatic opt-up, but we'll see how we go. I'm gonna go find a bathroom at the venue and try to get a little bit more trilling done before I head in, run through the scenes, get it done. Get it done. Have fun. Have fun. In a way, it's because I've had so much on this week. Like, maybe it's a good thing because I haven't had time to even think about nerves. Like, all I can think about is the actual material because there's been so much. So hopefully it's gonna work. It's gonna work. And once the audition was done, I grabbed a quick lunch and a free coffee from Woolies and headed to the Opera House for our first matinee this week of Hansel and Gretel. I found this audition quite hard vocally. It was 10 in the morning. I'm already quite tired this week, so I actually was on vocal rest for most of the afternoon. I don't have to sing in this production, so that's really good. So just got into wigs, makeup, and then pretty much sat silently. And the girls were really understanding. In the dressing room, performers tend to be pretty understanding if you say you're on vocal rest. And here's a little costume check. It's very cute 1950s kind of housewife look. And I sort of feel like I look like a moose from Princess Diaries every time I take out my pen curls.
I look like a moose.
Yes, but a very cute moose. Make all the boy moose go, wah!
So just reflecting on the audition, I'm trying to be really candid and real on this YouTube channel, and part of the reason I wanted to create it was maybe to sort of talk out feelings I have about the industry and myself within it online, and it was almost just like sort of a self-meditation on things that are going well, because I feel like I tend to skip over things that I should be celebrating and tend to ruminate a lot on what's not going right. So I'm kind of just taking off my makeup, but thought I would sort of reflect it wasn't the best audition, and that's okay. It was 10 in the morning and I've had a lot on, so you kind of do your best with what you've got that day, and I think if you're giving 100%, that can look different every day, vocally and energy-wise. And sort of just realizing that there is a world outside the industry. I think I've reflected in the last couple of weeks that, and there's my hair going, I've reflected in the last couple of weeks that a lot of my life seems to gravitate towards the industry and how my voice is feeling and how I'm feeling and if castings are going well. And I feel like I'm kind of missing out a lot on other stuff outside. So part of this YouTube channel is to kind of bring that into check and sort of maybe when I'm editing realize how much of an effect it might be taking on me. I teach a lot of young music theatre students, so I definitely want to be practicing what I preach, and sort of maybe taking a step back from how important industry and auditions are to my life and to my happiness, and maybe finding some validation outside of that. So yeah, just a little musings on industry and how I feel about it. Raining. Thursday was a very rainy day, but it was our second last performance of Hansel and Gretel. So this is my first time performing in an opera in a professional capacity. I'm only on stage for 4 minutes, but I have really enjoyed sort of rubbing shoulders with some of the best opera singers in the country. It's been very, very cool. One of the differences that really surprised me in opera is you get cued on stage by the stage manager, which is very different in music theatre. You do your own cues and have to be on top of that yourself. But opera and music theatre do have a lot of crossover, but then that was just one difference that I found really surprising. This is me backstage because I do have an audition tomorrow night for a different production, so I'm trying to learn my lines in the off time I have. And there were fireworks happening across the harbour, which is really cool and kind of foreshadowing the fireworks we'll have in Phantom, and this is me leaving. It was so rainy. My bag got completely soaked, and because it doesn't close properly, my score got a little bit damp and my earphones were completely filled with water. So I was fighting for my life getting home on this particular evening. This is me finding a little pin curl that I left over underneath my wig. So fun, fun, crazy evening. This is the first morning I feel like I've been able to actually talk, which is great. But today is too much. It is torrential rain in Sydney. My audition stuff is on one shoulder, laptop for swing stuff, been called in for 10 a.m. to observe, and then an audition at 7:45 tonight. We'll survive, we'll survive. Some other members of the cast are also coming to this very late audition we have on Fridays. They were kind enough to give me a lift, so I got there in good time, took some stress out of it. Oh, lots of cockatoos out and about. Love that. Never got that in London, so it's pretty cool. Final audition done of the week. It is 7:45. I'm off to have some pizza. Oh, and it's so good to be finishing the week. Feeling better than I started it. Yeah, they only had the songs, not the scenes, which is always a bit sad. But better to sing than do the scenes, so I guess that's good. This audition definitely did go better than one earlier this week, so that was quite a good thing. I now know editing that I did not book this job, which is always a sign, I think, if they don't ask for the scenes. But I definitely feel like I gave my best work, which was really hard to give at 9:45 on Wednesday morning. So I'm treating myself to a bit of takeaway pizza at home. My boyfriend got it all organized. He also cleaned up the house because he knew I had a very stressful week. He's also telling me about his day of practice himself because he's a musician. So we're just having a little bit of pizza, a bit of salad to keep it nice and healthy. And then we're just going to settle in for a bit of a movie chill night. And I've just found out my call time for tomorrow is 11 a.m, not 10 a.m. So there's wins all around. There's wins all around. Great night. Saturday, it's my final day of rehearsals of the week, and I feel so much better now that I have my 2 auditions out of the way and we are closing Hansel and Gretel the opera tonight. So I can really just focus in the room and not be learning material on my breaks and stuff. I'm just focused on Phantom, which is really, really helpful, having one thing to think about at a time. And this is my sister who's come to stay with me. It's Mardi Gras weekend, so we're just walking into the opera house, and then I fell over fighting my way through the Mardi Gras to get there in time. So yeah, she came with me. We had a little photo in front of the opera house, and she's flown all the way down to see it, so it was really special. Say hello, everybody. I was really on the struggle bus, so treated myself to my 3rd coffee of the day. I've been buying a coffee out every day this week, but I normally don't do that. I very much am not for buying coffee out all the time, but today I had to do what I had to do because it's been a very big, exciting week. And this is me taking my final bow at the Joan Sutherland Theatre at the Sydney Opera House. Very, very cool. There are big cracks in the stage, so you have to make sure you miss those with your high heels. And what better way to end the night than walking through Sydney Mardi Gras 2026 on the way home. So yeah, just like a really big celebration to finish a really big week, which is really, really fun. We made it to Sunday, the one day off I have this week after a very busy week, and I just kind of had a nice pot of tea with my partner, bit of like an unhealthy breakfast, which was really, really yummy. I love hot cross buns, and we rehearsed during Easter. And then I actually watched on YouTube the Mardi Gras that was happening pretty much right outside last night, because I got to walk through it but didn't actually see the parade because I was performing. So really lovely to see the parade and just like the creativity of the costumes and the floats. And after a bit of cleaning, just headed to the park where we bought the Woolworths Lego set because we've been collecting the pieces like small children, but it was $2, so we were like, why not have a bit of fun? As I said earlier, I really want to use this YouTube channel as a place where I can reflect on the pros and cons of being a performer. And I think if I'm being honest, lately it's felt a lot like I'm focusing on the cons, and I want to sort of reshift my focus onto the positives of being a performer and the positives of life in general outside of a performing career. And I think that's really about reshifting my focus on why I love performing and finding validation outside of the industry and outside of auditions. I found a lot of inspiration from Alyssa Liu's Olympic journey, and I think a lot of us have recently, the idea that maybe if we take a step back and loosen our grip on something that we want so much to go well, then maybe things will fall into place. So I'm hoping that this year I'm gonna find realignment with my personal life and my performing life, and really trying to focus on the pros in both of them. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, please like and subscribe and follow along the journey.